Here is a fan, light, and radio combination apparatus. This is of unknown brand and manufacturer. I suspect this was probably marketed for camping and or emergency use. We used to have one of these back in the mid-2000s era. I had kind of forgotten about it, and then I saw the picture of it surfaced. I believe it was on the Digitan Goodwill, and I recognized it immediately, and it brought back all the memories of using this at that time. And it was cheap, only a couple dollars, so I got it. It's in very good condition. Unfortunately, it's missing the power supply and the battery, and since there's no branding or information present, it's going to be a bit of a challenge to get this up and running again. I don't like to assume things. I think it's a dangerous process, but I think we're going to have to assume, just to get a starting point, that it probably used a 6 volts lead acid battery, and therefore the power adapter was probably somewhere in the range of 8 or 9 volts. Possible that it could have been a 12, I'm not sure. So this has a fluorescent light on the side, which makes a horrible clicking sound as it adjusts, and sounds like it's going to break. And you can adjust the angle of this. Have that fluorescent light like that. I'm never going to move that around too much. That sounds awful. It has a fan, which actually looks like it would be fairly substantial, with the rotating guard, which I don't know what purpose that serves. FM and AM radio, which probably sounds like garbage, and a flashing red emergency light with an incandescent torch. And I believe this had a siren as well. It's made in China, of course. And that's about all the information that there is to be seen on this thing. Well, maybe this is the model number. JML 9240. There's a, I guess, patent numbers or whatever. Yeah, I didn't see that before. Let me see if I can search that on the computer and come up with anything. I was able to find some pictures. I think we're done printing. I was able to come up with some interesting results from the searching on the internet. Firstly, I found some pictures of the box. It says, great for roadside emergencies, workbench, or home use. So I was incorrect in the sense that I thought it was intended for use camping. It inherently is not to be used for camping. There's no brand that I can see anywhere on the box. I don't know what's with the snowflakes. It's got a fan. I guess the fan makes snow. I don't know. Looks like a Christmas product to me. It says instructions sheet included, so there would have been a manual. We don't have the manual either. 2-speed fan, AM from it's a Louver fan, AM from radio, 2 axial swivel 9-inch fluorescent lamp, swivel spotlight, siren alarm, and amber blinking light, operated by 12 volt cancer stick lighter plug or 6D batteries not included. Instruction sheet included. Can't quite read what that says. Let me look at the picture on the computer to see if I can enlarge it enough. It says, I can't quite tell. Yeah, it's not good enough quality. I can't tell. The picture on the computer is no clearer than this is. that might have given us a hint of the OEM, but we don't know. So it says 12 volts. I guess the input is 12 volts. 6D batteries. That was interesting to me because the unit in the listing, this is what it looked like, had a compartment in there that looks like is an adapter, perhaps. That was an option it came with, maybe. To have 6 D-cell batteries as opposed to the lead acid battery, because this one, it's clearly the same battery compartment, right? And we can see the track around the edge here, the track around the edge. We got the hole, the clips, the hole, the clips. It's definitely the same battery compartment, but it looks like there's a tray that would have been able to sit in here, perhaps an optional accessory tray or something. Although, but then this would be in the way, so I don't know. Maybe there's different models you could get. This one, I would assume that this would recharge the battery when you plug it in, but I would think, I don't know, there's got to be different flavors of it out there, because I would think that a rechargeable battery option would have been listed in the description there, and it's not. Here's the picture of the instruction manual. I'd be willing to bet there's some Chinglish on here, but the only thing we can see is anti-clockwise, which is true. It's just something I've never heard before. There's the 12 volt outlet for the vehicle. Now, what did come up pretty often in the searching was replacement batteries, and it is in fact a 6 volt lead acid battery. So I would imagine that this has got to be intended to recharge the battery. It's a 4.5 amp hour, at least this particular one is. So I would have much rather had the unit with the batteries, because something like this I'd like to power it on just for the nostalgia, but it probably doesn't work that good, and I think it's unlikely I would use it regularly. So to buy a battery for this is kind of a waste. I did grab a 12 volts adapter here so we can try that out. I also have a 9 volts here, which I think I'd rather start with the 9. 12 volts just seems kind of high. It's literally double the voltage. Now, I don't know if this is going to work without the battery connected, because this might complete the circuit to power everything, but let's see. This looks like it's physically the right size. If the polarity is correct or not is yet to be seen. We don't know what the polarity is because it's not labeled. We've got radio. This is actually a very powerful receiver. I don't even have the antenna opened. Well, the antenna's not much to speak of.
40% off.
It didn't grab a lot of stations, but in this particular area, that's about all we can get. I think that that's actually as many stations as I can pick up on the unit upstairs, which is above ground with a much better antenna. This antenna is very small. It only goes up to here. So it looks like the radio is working off of the 9 volts. Let's see if anything else is working. The fan does not appear to be working. The fluorescent light is not working. This is working. Yeah, I'm sure that's really going to help you in an emergency. That's a little ridiculous. This light, I don't know how you turn it on. And that does not appear to be working. The siren is working. And that's actually fairly loud for the size of the speaker. I don't know how this light is supposed to come on. Well, I wonder if it requires the battery to be in the circuit. I think that's a strong possibility. So I have this lantern here, which I believe takes a comparable lead acid battery. So let's go ahead and open up this lantern and borrow the battery, which is probably spoiled because, like I just explained, I don't use this lantern too often, so I bought a new battery and it just kind of sits there and is not charged up as often as it should be. Oh, this lantern actually works very well and looks nice. I would use this often in the summertime. Okay, that didn't get us anywhere. Don't know what that is. Okay then, now what? I know I've changed the battery in this before, but I have absolutely no recollection of how this came apart. I know I did this at the old location, so it was a number of years ago now. Nope, it's not under there. Tabs in there. I can see screwdriver marks alongside here. Is it under the feet, perhaps? Yes, it is under the feet. Hopefully this solves it and we don't go through all this trouble for nothing. Yeah, there's the little screws in there. Glue that back on. I wonder what the power cord for this thing is. It also doesn't say. I know I have it somewhere. This is kind of like a UPS battery almost. Similar style. I should have checked to see if this has a charge first. I highly doubt it, but you never know. Huh, look at that. It's got a charge. Does it say how much power it wants in? No, it doesn't say. Maybe it's 12 volts as well. So we know that the battery has a charge. That was it. It needs the battery in order to work. Well, that's pretty abysmal. It's got 3 blades and then 4 blades. That's not terrible. If you're sitting right in front of it, that'll give you some air. Actually, I can feel it from 4 or 5 feet away. I can still feel it. And then we can do this for whatever that's worth. I think all that really does is add some squeaking. That sounds like it's pretty much running up to speed. Let's see if it is any different if we plug it in. Nope, it stops. So it must be charging the battery now. So does this work now? There we go. The light is working. It seems to just turn on when you open it. And in terms of brightness, it's not a bad torch, but it's not anything particularly impressive either. It's not bad. The little emergency light thing is still pretty ridiculous. So let's see here. The radio is working. Now let's check out this fluorescent light. It's like a 6500 Kelvin color. Very, very cold white. Cool white. I don't like that. There we go. It took some time to start, but it did start, and it looks like it's up to full brightness. We could probably put different tubes in there. Those look like pretty standard size camping lantern tubes, T5. And this is a pretty decent brightness. Nothing to write home about, but for the time, 20 years ago or so, this is decent. You have to remember that this is in the pre-lithium battery boom era. And so when you're working with these lead acid batteries, although I think these are much safer in terms of charging safety and so forth, these do not hold anywhere near as much power as the lithium ones do. So the battery operated stuff from this era is you have to lower the expectations to match the battery technology is what I'm saying. These clips are fitting on here very loosely. It's not making a very good connection, but it looks like everything's working. Can we run the fan? Yeah, you can run it simultaneously. The fan is pretty out of balance. Well, that's pretty neat. It's all working. I do wish that it would take regular D batteries though. I have a feeling that it was 2 separate models. One had the rechargeable battery and one could take the D batteries. Well, we have a working battery for it, so I suppose I could just swap the battery between this and this lantern as I want to use them.